Hello patrons, and welcome to my first video tutorial specifically designed for all of you. I get a lot of questions regularly about how I do different things for my costumes, so this is hopefully something that you will all find very useful and very interesting and will help you with your own costumes. Today I figured I'd start it off with something fairly easy that a lot of people tend to kind of need help with, because as cosplayers we spend a lot of money on wigs, and then when your wig starts to get a little ratty you don't really know how to save it, so you either end up just wearing a ratty wig or having to buy a whole new one. So I have learned a little technique that kind of helps make your ratty old wigs look a little nicer and newer, so I'm going to share that with you guys today. So I have here, this is literally the first wig that I ever bought. I bought it back in the early 2000s when I first started cosplaying, and I've worn it many, many, many times. And I'm sure you guys can see there that she's looking a little ratty. She's like all, it's like a rat's nest in there. It's mostly the ends, and anyone who's worn a wig before knows that this likes to happen along the neck, like where the wig sits right here, and it just like rubs and rubs and rubs all day, and then you take it off and there's just a little like bird's nest happening where your neck goes. So I am going to attempt to rescue her a little bit, make her look a little fresher, and I'm going to show you guys how I do that. So starting off here, I already have a styrofoam wig head on a portable wig stand. I just got this very recently off of eBay. It was only like $3, so I highly recommend just like dropping $3 and getting one of those. If you can't, I have a styling station upstairs that's just like a dowel rod, a couple inches of a dowel rod screwed into a shelf. I've styled wigs on microphone stands and just kind of like jam the head down until it stays there. I also know some people who have bought clamps like this from like Home Depot and just like shove their wig heads on those. So anything works. So you're gonna start by putting your wig on your wig head, and then you always want to secure your wig to the wig head before you start doing any styling, because otherwise it's just gonna like, you're gonna brush it and it's just gonna go boop and slide right off, which you don't want. So I have these, is that better? These T-pins. And I also get these off of eBay. It's like $3 for a pack of like 100 of them. They last forever. And I like to do one on top, right in the head. And then most wigs have this like temple piece that sits right here when you're wearing it. So that for me tends to be the easiest securing spot. You can also secure it at the base, like down here, in addition or instead, whatever works for you. So as far as materials, I like to have on hand always some form of clippy. I got these at the dollar store. They're super great. You want a wide tooth comb or a wig brush. And then last but not least, you're gonna need a straightening iron. And ideally you will have a low heat straightening iron or one with adjustable heat. Mine goes from like 1 to 20 or 25 or something like that. And I keep it on the lowest heat setting, and that's just for safety because I don't want to damage my wig. I probably should have mentioned at the beginning, you will want to make sure that your wig is heat safe. So pretty much any wig that you would get from like Party City, you're not going to want to use this technique with, because it will destroy the wig, and especially if the heat is too high. But any like Canaclon, pretty much every eBay wig that I've ever gotten, high quality wigs, like Epic Cosplay, Arta, any of those would be able to use this technique. So the first thing that you want to do is just kind of brush out all the really bad knots. Okay. So now that the wig is all combed out, we're gonna start rescuing it. So anytime you do really anything with a wig, you wanna section it out. And now I like, when I section my wigs, to follow along the tracks of the wefts. I see how there's two wefts there. So I like to just kind of go in between those. I'm just gonna put that right up there. Now we've just got a thin little section of hair. I'm gonna go through and brush that. So now that the wig is as brushed out as you can get it, we're gonna start fixing those flyaways. So to do this, we're gonna take a little section. I don't want it to be too big, so we want to make sure that the heat is going to be able to get to all of the fibers in the section. Okay. We're going to take our straightening iron, again on the lowest heat setting. And just slowly run it over. God, that is still pretty hot for being on the lowest heat setting. So I like to just kind of run my fingers over the strand as it cools. In my headcanon, that helps just kind of like smooth out all the frizzies. So this strand kind of started out frizzy the whole way down. So now there's just some little stragglers here on the ends. I'm pretty lenient, so like if there's a 1/4 inch of frizz on the end of the hairs, I'll normally just leave it, or I'll just like trim it off. But you can also just kind of keep going. A very coordinated individual, apparently. Let's see. Oh, that's so nice and smooth, brushing through it. So now we have one section all nice and smooth. now, comparatively. Like, that is a huge difference. So then we take the next section. And we do it again. There is the bottom section all smoothed. So there, all those little flyaways are all fixed up. You can see there's still a little bit of like frizziness down here. So what I would do is, would normally do is just kind of go in with my shears and just kind of trim a little bit of that off, and really just these little flyaways down there, and that's all you really need to trim. So now that you've finished the base layer, I'm gonna move on to the next layer. So I like to go up about 3 or 4 wefts. So now I've got my first section of the next row of hair. It's all brushed out. Let me just rinse and repeat. huge difference. It's so soft now. Just like run my fingers through it. Well, now that I've shown you guys the basics, I'm going to finish up this, pop on an episode of Friends or something, and then I will check back in with you guys for the last couple passes. And we're back. So I just finished doing the top layers, and now here is the final wig. So now is the point where I would go in and just kind of trim up these little loosey guys. So once you get to this point, the wig is pretty much ready to go. Like a side by side what it looked like before. Yeah, see all these little, just go in with some scissors and kind of snippy those loose guys off, or don't if you're lazy, just like me. So now is the point where you can go in and add some curl back in, or if you're like styling it into an updo, you could start doing that. Pulling it into a ponytail, whatever it is that you choose to do with that. The next step is kind of up to you, however you had your wig styled beforehand. But yeah, so that is how you rescue a damaged wig, or rescue a frizzy wig. There's a different tutorial that I will go through for how to rescue a completely destroyed wig, but I need to find a completely destroyed wig first. So hopefully you found that useful, and thank you all so much for supporting me and for being my patrons and allowing me to continue creating videos like this and costumes and doing what I love, because I really wouldn't be able to do it without you. So thank you, I love you, and have a lovely day. I'll talk to you soon.